It was hot. I just put my jacket on.
Barry's always got a blanket.
Typical men.
Yeah, I don't realise. Where's the main like the black guns? Oh, the black gun council. So
Make up and get stuff.
woodcloth drinks are really.
That was making my eyes move.
They got good RSL. Yes, they do. Very nice.
Seriously, where's Jimmy? Over there.
That's good.
He's not even married again. He's already
Carol, I had
you can watch chocolate as well?
You what?
You have hot chocolate.
What about a fresh juice?
Nah, not today.
Yeah, I heard you were
But you
making
were
juices.
coming, I would have made you one.
I heard you were making juices.
Yeah, you jealous.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so good. I get great season.
Yeah, I'm fighting for the seats right there.
Oh, hi. Hi. I think we're actually.
late. Your mom said she's running late. Into the...
Good evening, everyone. Eric Subihana here at Marconi Stadium, Field 2. It's Female Football Week, and it's the Football New South Wales League One Women's Match of the Round. It's not just second versus fourth, it's a local derby. Marconi Stallions hosting SD Raiders. And these two teams, they've started the season in excellent form. Really excited to be calling this one. And it's normal, well, I say it's usual, kids. It's back to the traditional colours for Marconi. Longer time fans of the New South Wales State Comps will know them very much as a sky blue, and Marconi have changed back to that for this season after about 7 years in green, white and red. Well, for SD Raiders, they are in the predominantly dark green kit. So right in front of us, there's a late handshake from the officials, match officials, by the way. Amelia Dimmick is in the centre. Alana Zick will be the assistant nearest to us on the side of the pitch for the two technical areas, and Emma Chan will be assistant on the scoreboard side of Marconi Field number 2. There was a thrilling, by the way, under-23 game just before this one. Plenty of emotions both on the field and in the stands. 2 late goals for SD Raiders, ensuring a 3-1 victory in under-23s. Now let's see how first grade goes. Let's get on, while we have time, to the 2 sets of lineups. Firstly for Marconi, in goal, number 1, Isabella Solicito. Then number 2, Shelby Milton. Number 4 is the captain, Daniela Brekic. Number 7, Asia Zreika. Number 8, Maria Herrera. Number 10, Hannah Tomalic. Number 11, Helena Daniela. Number 13, Charmaine Martinez. Number 16, Pene Bonavas. Apologies. Number 18, Laura Malagonavila. And number 25, Talia Kupcheric. While for SD Raiders, their starting lineup, the keeper and the captain is number 1, Natasha Pentecost. Then number 2, Sharina Harris. Number 4, Mia Masteris. Number 5, Amanda Radmillo. Number 6, Jessica Neville. Oh, she's also indicated as the captain. Well, that was interesting. So I think number 7, Abigail Berg. There's the whistle. Away we go. Number 8, Selene Knight. Number 14, Sarah Mandile. Number 18, Maddie Malone. Number 22, Erin Phelan. And number 35, Tennille Hay. So as I said, Marconi in second coming into this one. And after the kind of mid-table finishes in recent times, so this, the women's second tier for New South Wales League One Women's, they've had an excellent start to the 2025 campaign. As it's keenly fought right in front of us, and we're getting a good view of things early on here. From Marconi, this is, memory serves me correctly, their second appearance in front of the Football New South Wales cameras this season. In round 3, they were in the featured match, defeating another team that's not too far away from them. That would be the Spartans. They beat the Spartans by a goal to nil at Spartan Park. Yes, I know it's not the official name of the Spartans home ground, but I think myself and fellow Football New South Wales commentator Nicholas Kudniak will try and get that adopted. For SD Raiders, also one appearance this season in front of the cameras, as Maddie Malone does well to hold off an opponent. But it was in round 5 when SD Raiders in another big game drew 1-1 against Hills United, the current league leaders. As there's an early attack, Malone gets back to defend at the expense of the game's first corner kick. So, of course, I do love this as the fans filter in. It is Female Football Week. It was great to see the pre-game scenes, a guard of honour set by Marconi Juniors for their first graders. Of course, the people they hope to emulate one day, as there's the short corner. Now, not whipping into the box immediately just yet. Now it comes in, I think, from Martinez, and a couple of SD Raiders header. Malone getting a boot into there. Phelan as well battling before. There's a shot, which is easy for Pentecost to gather. That shot coming from Hannah Tomalic. Now, trying to test my memory here, because Tomalic is a married name for the Marconi number 10, but when you're friends with long-time Football New South Wales League One Women's reporter Justin Davies, you do get to pick up these things. Hannah, previously known as Veloda, before changing, as there's the shot coming in from Radmillo. It's easy It's an easy save for Solacito. Now, actually, she's noticed an untied bootlace, so with the help of a teammate, she'll get that sorted before we go on, and the ref is good common sense refereeing. Technically, the keeper's not allowed to hold onto the ball for that long, but there's no reason to stop the play. And now, we're back underway as Solacito kicks it towards midfield. Of course, as there's a run on the far side, it's kept in at the expense of another corner. So Marconi have shown some good intent early on as Talia Kupcharic with a strong run down the far side of the field. Oh, actually, my apologies. Didn't quite see that properly. It will in fact be a goal kick, but a decent run from Kupcharic nonetheless, as Malone goes short for the very short goal kick to Neville. Neville now trying to play it out. Hay was the target, but Marconi won it back. Now, flag is up, and there's an offside against the home side. So for Marconi, excellent record over their first 9 games of the season. 6 wins, 2 draws, and just the 1 loss. Very healthy goal difference at plus 15. And a tally of 20 points, as there's a strong challenge from Martinez up against Rad Miller. That'll be a interesting battle to watch, those two, especially in the first half when it's right in front of us. And for Marconi, yeah, they are on 20 points, only 2 points behind the league leaders, Hills United, who are the only undefeated team left in this competition at this stage as we head into round 10. And doesn't the sky look lovely as I look up with the blue and the pink? It's good. After the furnace-like heat of the opening rounds in March, I do remember, was at Ian McLennan Oval, I think that's the official name, in round 1, and I'm lucky my face didn't melt off, but now it's kind of the conditions we more associate with football. As Radmillo stopped by Brekic, who we expect to see if she will be at centre back. She is wearing the armband for the Stallions, but read the play well and stepped up to block any Raiders forward progress. As here's Knight, and Lane Knight, that is a very, very decent long throw. SD Raiders could use that to their advantage later on, as there's the tackle for Milton. It'll be a first corner of the game for the visitors. Visitors who would not have had too much to travel. Ernie Smith, reserve SD Raiders home ground, not too far away from here. Here's the delivery, aimed at the far post. Hay rises highest, and it will loop up and onto the roof of the net. For SD Raiders, I said Marconi have played 9 games. SD Raiders have played 1 game less than their opponents, as I think Marconi one of the few teams not to have had the bye yet in the competition this season. It's a 13-team comp, League 1 Women's for 2025. And SD Raiders record 6 wins, 1 draw, and just the 1 defeat. So only defeated once this year, just like their opponents. As there's the offside. And it was Abigail Bogue, who moved a little bit too early, and Emma Chan, the assistant on the far side, raising the flag. SD Raiders shows you how close we expect this contest to be this evening. It is a lovely evening here in Bosley Park. SD Raiders only 1 point behind Marconi, and a goal difference very similar, plus 16, as opposed to Marconi's plus 15. Of course, as there, yes, of course, broadcasting in Western Sydney, and what was it? It was only 7 minutes before we heard the sound of someone revving their engine unnecessarily. As sweeper keeper work there from Solacito, sending it well into the SD Raiders part of the field. Now, possibly a chance. Bonavas might try and play the ball. Good header, I think, from Neville. Malone getting a foot in as well. Now Mandile, and that's an unfortunate one for Mandile. Bounce just off the elbow, but definitely very much a handball. Of course, there was, so I just double check, yes, there was a result in this competition yesterday, which I will bring to you. Flick from SD Raiders to the SD goalkeeper, Pentecost. But yes, it was yesterday at in McLennan Oval. SD Raiders winning by a goal to nil over St George FC, and that is an excellent result. Sorry, not SD Raiders, my bad. South Coast Flame winning by a goal to nil over St George FC. An excellent result for the team from the South Coast. St George FC, they've scored a lot of goals this season. They're the competition's highest scorers, I think 45 so far already, which is an incredible tally when we're not even at the halfway stage of the season. But the Flame able to keep them scoreless. And it was 71st minute goal from Alexis Malizis, which won it for the Flame. So you could say that St George FC got burnt yesterday down on the South Coast. As there's a ball, Mandar will chase from a long way out, but should be easy for the back pass to Solicido. Other games coming up in this round, and of course an early plug for Justin Davies, his Football New South Wales League One Women's report. They'll be working on that in the evening. It should be up later tonight on the Football New South Wales League socials, with a little bit of assistance, as always, from longtime Football New South Wales media manager, the Greek god of Football New South Wales, Mark Stavroulakis, who does so much tireless work during the season, getting all these articles, match reports published out there for you to read, for you to enjoy. Doing the commentator roster. Sometimes got to do a little bit of ego management with the commentators as well, but anyway, that might be his hardest task. As Marconi played forward, Kupchurich will chase. Neville seems to have the pole position, and indeed it goes back for Pentecost. Misplayed the pass, so Kupchurich got in the way, bounces off her, and for a goal kick. 10 minutes played here in the League One Women's Match of the Round. Score is 0-0 between Marconi and SD Raiders. Eric Subihano with the commentary here from what is a very, very lovely early evening here in Western Sydney. Women's football in Western Sydney on Female Football Week, you can't beat it. It's Martinez with the challenge with our SD Raiders. Now Lane Knight, there we go, that is a very proficient long throw as Mandile misplaces the header. Lane Knight, at that distance, I reckon she could be used for some long throws into the box if the situation presents itself for SD Raiders. Kupchurich again will not get to the ball, as it's the defense that protects the SD keeper, Pentecost. Now Zrejka hurls it. Some double marking here up against Tomalic. Tomalic gives it up, so it will be a goal kick. Other games to be played today in League One Women's, so there'll be 4 others which will play today, which will be part of that League One Women's review, which will be available later tonight on the Football New South Wales League socials. We have the Spartans hosting Central Coast Mariners, as the high pressing is giving SD Raiders some problems here. And Knight trying to find Berg. Martinez is in there. And Martinez getting the shouts of encouragement as well from the bench. It does appear that they're calling her CJ, which is definitely an easier name to yell than Charmaine. And Amelia Dimmick saying that the ball was gotten there, that the tackle was clean, and it's Tennille Hay. The run down the far side. Tennille Hay, more on her later as spectators. Good to see they're still streaming in, because it is a big occasion here. And some going to have to be careful not to tread on someone at some point. It's what like we call intimate surrounds. Hay running down the far side. She does whip it in with the left foot, attacking it. That's Bogue. and the chance might still get in there, but Mandile, the toe poke is easy for Solachito to gather. But yes, other League One women's games being played today. As I said, Spartans hosting Central Coast Mariners, Nepean hosting Camden Tigers, Interlions hosting Sutherland Strikers. By the way, big chat of some very big name players about to join Sutherland Strikers now that the A-League women transfer window is open, but it's probably best not to deal in rumours at this point. And the other game, this another big game up at Valentine Sports Park, which will kick off in not too long. It's Hills United hosting Bankstown City at Football New South Wales headquarters. There you go. Is it going to be the long throw that I've kind of predicted? Yes, it is. Towards Mandile. The foot is up. It was a Marconi boot that got to it first, and Sarah Mandile, great goal scorer in this competition over so many years. It's important that Marconi mark her tightly. Malone disguises the pass. And there's the long-range shot from Hay, which Solachito gathers. And there's a little lesson for any young promising goalkeepers out there. Yes, it was an easy shot, but Solachito made sure to get her body behind the ball. Now, Mandile was sniffing, so I think Shelby Milton to get in the way. And Shelby Milton, if memory serves me correctly, Shelby Milton, one of those players that we here like to call a college Matilda, an Australian woman who has played college soccer in the United States. Trying to ask the College Matildas admin which college that was for Shelby Milton. As it's Marconi using the far side, while the local kids play using the other synthetic pitch in the background. But it's forward to Bogue, and Radmiller was already well forward. Found some dangerous room, but could quite swivel the hips enough to play it into her direction. Ah yes, there we go. Lockie of College Matilda's admin really helping me out here, saying that Shelby Milton went to St. Francis University in Pennsylvania. But anyway, as he's the shot, and Solachito, well, almost looked like she was a little bit wrong-footed, but that effort there...
What's going on?
That effort there didn't have the power to trouble her. And that was Erin Phelan. Erin Phelan, by the way, just making note. She does have a delightfully Irish name, Erin Phelan. I mean, her first name even means Ireland. So naturally, she's playing for the team in green. So I love it when it all comes together. The sun's just about set now. Oh, the sky's still showing lovely colours, the blue and the pink. Possibly a little bit of white there as well. And Milton playing it back to the keeper. But yeah, this pitch now bathed in floodlight. Gotta love floodlit football. As Radmiller is sharp, and then a little bit of a commentator's curse. I reckon it won't be the last time today that I do that. So just got to, by the way, very tight confines here. Just got to double check that my table doesn't fall down the stairs and hit ref assessor Emma Kochbeck, who's right in front of me. But, you know, also thank you to Emma Kochbeck for actually confirming the lineup so that they appeared on the dribble app. Without confirmed lineups would make my job a lot more difficult today. As it's broken up. Tomilic now battling. But say that's pretty tidy defending from Mia Masters. And that reminds me, I assume it's her sister Angelina, also on the SD Raiders bench. As Angelina Masters, one of the SD Raiders players we could see later. The other bench options, Amelia Savetta, Abu Muir, Olga Gastaratos, Luca Davina, and Caitlin Britton is the backup keeper. For Marconi, they can choose from Sarah Urquhart, Kira Cabrera, Ashley Limnios, Chiara Fragamelli, Olivia Cole, and Carissa Herrera. Decision goes in favor of Marconi there. now. There we go. Actually, it's good to see people tuning in, and people still enjoy that one joke that I have for South Coast Flame, apparently. I keep repeating it, but if people keep liking it, I'm going to keep saying it. Good first touch from Mandela, and then immediately broken up by Marconi. And by the way, without giving away too much as to who's tuning in, as there's the whistle from Amelia Dimmick, so free kick to SD Raiders. Not giving away too much to that person that enjoyed my flame joke. Don't worry, you'll get a stream game soon. Now, go long, and there's the header, I think, from Martinez. There's a strong challenge from Neville. While Jessica Neville's on the near side, I've just got to see if she's wearing an armband of some description. Can't quite tell yes or no, as it's cleared by Marconi. I mean, to be honest, I should have been paying attention to the coin toss at the start of the game. That would have helped my query as to whether the SD Raiders captain is Natasha Pentecost or Jessica Neville. They're both marked as the captain in dribble. Strong run from Tennille Hay, left-footed effort, and it's... Is it in? Has it crossed the line? Somehow it's still out. Radmillo following up. Somehow it stayed out. And Tennille Hay has got to be the unluckiest woman in New South Wales. With a great run cutting inside. The shot beat the keeper, Solacito, hits both posts. Was sitting there agonizingly on the goal line, waiting for someone to touch it over. And he somehow cleared. Credit to Solacito, who got back to just clear it away from the line initially before her teammates helped her out. How has that not gone in? And honestly, with the ball sitting on the goal line just like that, waiting to be pushed over the line for the opening goal, if you're of an SD Raiders possession, that would have to be as painful as the last tattoo I got. Malone forward to Hay. Handball shouts not heeded. Hay turns and shoots. That's blocked by Milton. As the cross, a little bit mishit, so Tomlic should clear and does find the touchline. By the way, and for longer time, for the longer-term sufferers, I mean long-time viewers of Football New South Wales streams who are familiar with my commentary, you'll notice that I do check my messages basically constantly. It's a miracle I actually managed to watch the game, but someone asked me, did Marconi have a unicorn mascot? I think they did as part of the pregame, but did walk past it in the pregame. Wasn't quite sure if it was a unicorn, but let's call it that one for now. It's a stallion? Okay, yeah. Well, that's... Oh, trust me, sir, that's not even the biggest mistake we're going to make in the first half, so don't worry about that. It's a stallion. I should have been able to guess that, to be honest. I mean, I did... Not that any of you designed it. That's a very female-looking stallion, if I may say. Yes, a man. Okay, yeah, that's a man. We'll go with that. Throw and aim towards Tomlic. For fancy footwork. And then a collision, which the ref wanted to pull up, but SD Raiders look like they still have it. Milo at wide, and then now the decision. is going to go in favor of SD Raiders. Free kick. It's going to be Lane Knight over the dead ball from way out, and it's dipping, but not in time. It clunks against, I think, the fence behind the Marconi goal. About midway through the first half, Eric Subihana here with a commentary from Bosley Park. 0-0 between Marconi and SD Raiders. It's a Southwest Sydney showdown, and thanks for tuning in to the League One Women's Match of the Round. There's Knight with the hurl towards Bogue. Played into the middle, should be there to clear for Breckage. But Bogue almost regains possession. There's enough light blue jerseys in the way to prevent the shot. Now Radmillo turns past Martinez. Back to Malone. Malone, well, sends the defender to the shops. But Martinez can give up, and the next battle with Malone is one that Martinez wins. Throw in. And now a clearance. Well, it's not really the distance the home side would have wanted. Martinez back again. She gets forward. Marconi should step up here, but Radmillo trying to keep the pressure on. And Phelan. Marconi defending stoutly as the Raiders recycle. So as Neville plays it forward. There was Breckage in there once again, stepping out of the back line to break up an SD Raiders attack, and there she is again.
I didn't enjoy it because then we copped two more after.
Does it run out, and that'll be Marconi ball.
So you were there.
So, I'm going back to Marconi's previous appearance in front of our cameras. Cameras, round 3, 1-0 win over Spartans. As there's the ball through towards Martinez, sweeper keeper work there from Pentecost. But Marconi, they only beat the Spartans by a goal to nil. Really could have been 4, 5, or 6 that day. But 3 points is all that matters. As here's the Raiders, and there's the side-footed effort, which goes wide. There's Bogue again, the late-ish run, kind of trailing the defenders. Decent cut back to find her, but unfortunately for the visitors, she couldn't find the target. Malone. Oh, it's Malone, another Irish surname that, Malone, as she pokes it through. There's a tumble, followed by a free kick, and this one possibly a bit more promising for Lane Knight or whoever chooses to take over for this next dead ball. So it will be Lane Knight, about 25 yards out, right of centre. Solicito, as goalkeepers like to be, wants to be inch perfect with the position of the 3-player wall. Yep. Everyone except one player back for Marconi as Knight. Will she go direct? She does, and gets a foot a little bit underneath it. Goal kick, I think. No, there is a net behind that. I think it hit one of the posts. That holds up that big net. I mean, quite a pleasing sound. Now, high press working out for SD Raiders. Quick passing to Bogue. And Bogue might get a second chance to play it into the middle, or maybe even shoot herself. Radmillo towards Breckage. Could have been at an awkward height. Breckage cool to touch past with the pressure from Mandile. Martinez back to Brekic. And Brekic. That's Kupcharic, who was stopped by Knight. And Knight forward. Brekic again. Oh, that's brilliant work there. Turning past the defender to find teammates. Now Marconi trying the other side. They could open it up here. So that's good play. As the clock ticks over to 28 minutes. Stop there. But Marconi throwing on the far side of the field. Of course, if you are a very long time follower of women's football in New South Wales, as someone who might need their muffler checked, driving behind us on Restwell Road. You'll remember when these backfields were grass, so it's good to know that they've, of course, we all know why synthetic fields are so important to these state league clubs. A lot of youth action gets played here, obviously, for both Girls Youth League and Marconi Boys Youth League. It's important to keep the pitch for the Palace, the main field of Marconi Stadium, in top condition. But actually, I haven't been here in quite some years. It's good to know the seating's got a bit of an upgrade as well. And right in front of us, possibly off frame, Football New South Wales photographer Angela Deporbet. Former, how do I put this, former League One women's parent, is in possession. Did you hear me say her name? Anyway, the free kick comes in. Safe hands from Pentecost. And now, Abigail Bogue trying to chase that ball. And I think there was some clever positioning there in defense from Macias Reika. Now Pentecost, will it spin towards a teammate? It does. Now Herrera, use of the body. And Amelia Dimmick is not best pleased with Radmillo. I think he's indicating that she had her jersey pulled as well. But, yeah, I support that. Go, Angela! You're doing a great job, Angela. Now, important that the football news media support each other now that we've gotten rid of that commentator who thought he was better than the rest of us. Anyway, it's another story as the free kick comes in. Tennille Hay, of course, who would be good in these defensive situations. She is good in the air. And Tennille Hay, a multiple championship winning defender with MacArthur Rams. Can't remember if she was present for two or all three of their championship wins in NPL Women's New South Wales over the last 3 seasons. Tennille Hayes made the switch to SD Raiders, playing a bit more advanced, and as we saw early on, she is the player who's come the closest of anyone to opening the scoring, as it does remain 0-0 between Marconi and SD Raiders. Honestly, that is the closest I've seen anyone come to scoring without actually scoring in quite some time. That's Brekic. Found a teammate. There's a collision right on the halfway line. And out for a Marconi throw. Look over the shoulder. Pressure is coming. I think that's Kupcharic applying the high press. Pentecost. Out of the way. As teams try to settle it. Martinez trying to locate it in amongst the floodlights. It drops right at her feet. It's a one-on-one opportunity. The support arriving from Zreika. Now Herrera. Herrera doesn't pick the right pass. Nandile moves to it, gets to it first, and trying to be the target. Forward, but has passed behind her teammate Tennille Hay. By the way, if you don't understand any of the references in my commentary, don't worry, it's probably for the best, because that's going to be a Marconi free kick. Look up, Rekic is up from the back. Rekic, the Marconi skippers, had a good game so far. Tomlic is in the mix, so is Kupteric. You've got Marquinez kind of working on beyond the far post, possibly for a ball that misses everyone. But here we go, in swinger. And now Marquinez trying to attack this one, and oh, they almost got in each other's way. It was Zreika in the end getting her head to it, but it has gone wide for a goal kick. Now, I mean, I get easily distracted at the best of times. Noticed Maxi Taxi's just pulled up behind our commentary position. So I wonder if we're going to see about like between 6 and 8 people leaving soon. Handball shouts by the home crowd not heeded, but it's Marquinez. Now there's the overlapping run from Zreika. That Zreika doesn't reach the pass. And now Bogue. Radmilo gives it straight back to Marconi. And who's the touch off last? Alana Zik indicates to the corner, so kick from the flag coming up. There's Helena Danielle, I think, from a player who was with Spartans last year, who's won that corner. A signal. Bonavas delivers, and the keeper doesn't get to it. So Pentecost was out of the play, but Marconi couldn't get the telling touch with the keeper out of her goal. Enjoyed this. Good tempo to this game. Of course, that's what you'd expect for the majority of the season. We did see slower tempo, kind of the first month of the season when it was really warm. But now as Mandile chases this, Zreika tracked her all the way and dealt with that situation excellently. I think the driver of the Maxi Taxi is trying to call someone with the incredibly loud speakerphone. As the throw-in is down the line, Hay, a couple of defenders trying to pin her against the corner flag, and Hay has done well, wins the corner. The signal. Delivery, decent area. Doesn't drop for Phelan. Masteris can't win it back and keep up the pressure. Now Marquinez could be the outlet. There's the ball, which is a little bit too straight. And then Knight, slight deflection, finds Bogan. That is Zreika with a nice tackle on her other number 7. A misstep from Solicito with the distribution that goes straight out of play. Now, as it flicks off Neville's head, so Pentecost off a line and deciding for very much a safety first clearance onto what I assume would be called field number 3, that other synthetic field. Thanks in advance to that young person who's going to play it, slotted that nicely through the gap in the fence to Emma Chan, the assistant on the far side. Go on, Kupteric. I've tricked away past Neville, and Kupteric knew the last touch was off Neville, so corner kick coming up. Actually, well, do love to go around the grounds here on a football. Actually, no. Sure, I saw a signal for a corner, but perhaps they changed their mind. It's actually going to be a goal kick. So yeah, we do love to go around the grounds on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. There's been a couple of goals at Lambert Park, and RPL looking like they're going to be the latest team to get smashed by the Sky Halmar Wrecking Ball, because it is Sky Halmar Spirit FC leading by 2-0, and the former junior Matilda has scored twice. Well, might be a case of no Estelle Fragale, no party for Arbia Leichhardt. Daniela Brekic getting the encouragement from a spectator. As once again, the centre back is up for this set piece. And everyone's back. Everyone's back for SD Raiders. Now, there you go, that's way too direct, and Pentecost knew that was sailing over her goal. Short goal kick. Kupchurich applying the pressure as it goes long, and then Brekic getting the foot in there. It's going to be Zreika, position, but she knows she can just let it go out. Right there we go. It's another good long throw. Zreika this time hurling it down the touchline. Then Knight with the ball that deflects off Milton. Milton reacts first, finds the other central defender, Brekic. There's an overlapping run down to the far side, and it's fortunate because they had worked the space nicely. Pass was just a little bit overhit. There's a whistle. Halftime approaching. 0-0 in the League One Women's Match of the Round. 0-0 between Marconi and SD Raiders. Tennille Hay for SD Raiders coming the closest with a shot that incredibly hit both posts and stayed on the goal line without going in. Off Marconi, we've seen some promising runs from their flyer on the flank, Talia Kupchurich, as Milton will be chasing this one. The keeper's off a line, but Milton wasn't ready to take any chances now. Possibly keeper's off a line. Milton blocks it again. Who's got the rebound? It's Brekic, poking it to safety. Good work from Shelby Milton. As they say, if you think you can clear it, just clear it. And if you need to argue with your keeper later, do that. And the decision goes in Marconi's favour. She also recognised that Solicitor was out of position, got in the way, and was positioned well to block the shot. Now, of course, your research is an important part of commentary, although for me, sometimes it's punching players' names in Instagram to see if anyone has got a Philippines flag in their Instagram bio. And today I didn't even need to do that, so thank you to Megan, who I know is tuning in. The discovery that Charmaine Martinez, who's chasing the player right now, she's one of mga kababayan. She's yet another person of Filipino descent in our state comps. We're developing quite a kapamilya across the New South Wales women's and state competitions. I know in the game I have in a couple of weeks' time, Apia versus Sydney Olympic at Lambert Park, I'll be calling that one. That's a big occasion as foul goes. The call is against Abigail Bogue. And Bogue is not best pleased. In fact, as much for what they call descent by word or action as for the initial foul. Bogue is the first player into the referee's notebook in the 42nd minute. Now, I'm going to try and be as spot on as I am with these bookings because I know it's an important part of the match report that'll be in the review that's later. That'll be out this evening. But it's going to be a team effort because it's a long story, but it's actually, hold that thought, as there's a run through before there's too much sky blue in the way to stop Bogue from getting a shot away. But I just want to say it's another one of my friend friends, another one of my fellow media, another man named Justin. Justin Smith is actually, they did tell me he was taking notes today in lieu of Justin Davies. Where is Justin Davies? Well, I'll tell you later as this corner comes in. Side netting. Yes, so I might as well tell you now. So, yes, I said Justin Davies, long-time League One women's reporter. However, this weekend, Justin Davies has decided to go to NRL men's Magic rounds in Queensland. So, it's definitely a decision. As there's some high pressure from the Raiders, definitely a decision to abandon your the competition that you're covering to watch a different sport in a different state. But, all the best to you, Justin Davies. Thankfully, Justin Smith is here to take notes for you. I just want to tell all the League One Women's family, I would never abandon you and go to another state during the season. Now, decent couple of touches, and then Mandal, and then at the end, Bogue making the late run. I think it was Hay initially, turned to get the shot away. The shot went towards Mandile. And then the final left from Bogue, which Solachito saved. Mandile again, overlapping run from Radmillo. And Radmillo kind of slices that one. There's the defensive header, which goes towards Tomlic. Tomlic, decent couple of touches, finds a teammate. And with Hay pressing, now there's Daniele. And Hay is too strong in that challenge there. I think that's Masteris with a foray down the right-hand side. Results in a throw-in near the flag and near all those kids that are watching at that corner of the ground. But also, as we are about at the end of the first 45 minutes of regulation time. So, no fourth official, of course, in this competition. So, your guess is as good as mine in terms of time added on for what has been a very entertaining first period. Martinez can drop one over the top towards Tomilic, and Tomilic might get a chance now, shoots, and there's Kupcharic, who couldn't wrap a left foot around it. The chance goes begging, score stays at 0-0. It was a good play, Martinez. And that initial pass from Martinez was as delicious as Lechon, my uncle, makes. Dropped it over the top. Tomlic was enough of a nuisance to end up winning the shot away. But Kupcharic, with that late run, couldn't take advantage. Now, well, there's a little bit of afters, and sorry, my eyes aren't good enough to see exactly what's going on. And Amelia Dimick right on hand to settle things down. I think Tennille Hay is not in a good mood at the moment. Daniela Brekic might be there as well, but the ref is just there, and they will calm things down. Yeah, there you go. Time to get on with it. Great. I was kind of hoping that scoreboard would track time added on, but they've actually stopped it at 45 minutes, so, well. In fact, what doesn't really matter, because it's the end of the first half. Plenty of endeavour and intent. Attacking sense from both sides, but it is goalless between Marconi and SD Raiders. Tennille Hay hit both posts with one shot for Marconi were able to clear the danger, and right near the end of the first half, it was Talia Kupcharic, which perhaps the host's best chance, but not getting the contact right with her left boot on that occasion. Eric Subihana here from Bosley Park. We'll take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, then we'll be back for the second half. welcome back to our coverage of the League One Women's Match of the Round from Marconi Stadium at Field 2. It's 0-0 between Marconi and SD Raiders as the teams prepare to begin the second period. Just those little last-minute checks from the match officials. Tennille Hay was excellent in the first half for the visitors. It's a little bit of encouragement from a spectator right in front of us as away we go. I'm just going to check, because of course no fourth official. It's a bit trickier to check if there's halftime subs that were made by either side, as that's not the greatest attempt at a clearance. In fact, bounces off Bogue before it is cleared over the sideline, but I do scan the shirt numbers before kind of confirming the lineups for you out there. Looks like a Lane Knight long throw. It's off Milton, and then Brekic preventing the corner, but Lane Knight is going to get another chance from a more advanced position. There you go, hurls it into the middle towards Phelan, bounces over her boot, and then Daniele with the clearance. Marquinez quick enough to keep it in play. And Marquinez says she found a teammate. Yes, she has. So Marconi could get out here as Neville gets a foot in there for the Raiders. And Kupchurich, she did the hard bit, held it up, and then possibly a little bit off balance after those slight little collisions with an off-target pass. Lane Knight with a almost Megan Campbell-esque long throw. It's very fitting that Lane Knight wears green today, and again, for the uninitiated, and if you don't mind a bit of multitasking, if you don't know about Irish international Megan Campbell and her long throws, Google that and enjoy. As the long ball out from the back towards Marquinez, she's eased away from it by a couple of Raiders players, and now Hay does not beat Tomalic to the ball, and then Brekic misplacing the pass. Throw in to be taken by Mia Masteris, with Angelina Masteris, one of the players on the Raiders bench, and it is given away. Throw in, and then the flick on by Tomalic. As Brekic continues her battle with Mandela, which is one of the key battles you think to determine where the points will go this evening. A couple of quick passing, they should be able to get out here, as I think that's going to be Zreika on the far side. Long and a little flick, which took it away from Kupchurich. And then Harris, it's the synthetic turf. And SD will go on while Harris tries to get back up. And the ball. Hay up against three players at once, but they try to set it up for Phelan to the SD Raiders, and then Daniela Brekic has had quite enough of that. Now, Kupchurich could be the passing option. Bonavas couldn't get it to him. Now, as the visitors, as Bogue comes back to help them out. The flag's up, so Alana Zik, assistant nearest to us, raises the flag. Mandela moving too early. By the way, I think it's quite rather appropriate in the competition currently being led by the undefeated Hills United. We've got Alana Zik, a referee from the Hillshire. That is one of the match officials for this game. So Alana and myself doing a little Hillshire takeover for this match of the round here in Bosley Park, as we're back underway. Kupchurich wasn't able to gather the ball and take control. Another Knight throw-in, which goes down the line. Before that's Brekic. Avila knocked over by Hay, and yeah, Dimmick. It's not exactly subtle from Tennille Hay, to say the least. But there's again Yeah, Dimmick just trying to cool things down, but no, I don't think Laura Avila was impressed with Tanihoe's play in that last phase. We go on, the flick onto Avila. The through ball doesn't work out. Master is standing in the way. Attempt to pass off the chest and the cross. That's easy for Pentecost to gather. Now, Milton didn't get the elevation on the clearance that she wanted, but we'll go back. I think foul called against Mandile.
My bad. I'm learning. I've only been around outside twice, so I'm just
At least you guys know who the tennis is.
So I can confirm, and again, it's one of my many weaknesses as a commentator. The whole halftime sub thing, as it's a decent ball from Daniele towards Marquinez. Marquinez with a shot, which goes over. Oh, it was a wonderful ball from Daniele, curling it around defenders. Marquinez had timed the run to stay onside. He was just leaning back with the shot, and there was nothing to trouble Natasha Pentecost's goal. Yes. Only 6 minutes, by the way, for me to figure out that Marconi have not made any halftime subs. Well, that's not as bad as I usually am. As you see a little bit of quick feed from Angela de Poubet, photographer, just to make sure she doesn't get hit by her and her very expensive camera equipment don't get hit by the ball. And now, well, it's another little flashpoint again involving Hay. I think it's Tomilic. He's not impressed, but after all that, Tennille Hay has gone into the notebook. And, well, yeah, so actually, I love being in amongst the punters, although I did pause a bit because I think for a moment I heard that a spectator say that Tennille Hay got a red card. She's clearly not. She's still on the pitch, but I was just double checking that. I was a bit confused because no one's body language there suggested red card. Only yellow for Tennille Hay, 53rd minute. Justin Smith. Thanks for noting this down. Thanks for doing Justin Davies' job for them. Although it was also one of the viewers is tuning in. They just asked me, as that's clear down the line by the Raiders, just how did Justin Davies' team, St. George, how did they go in Magic Round? Judging by the identity of the person who asked me, does that mean they lost to the Roosters? Anyway, yeah, but I don't know. I don't really pay attention to NRL until about July. Anyway. Here's Neville. Runs under Harris's foot, but through Bogue and then Malone. They'll bring in Radmillo. There's Milton. Breaking it up for Marconi. Radmillo getting it back. Now Harris back to Neville. SD Raiders captain. Yep. Through everyone, a little touch. So Hayes going to get on the end of this one. Whips it in, and it's across the face of goal. As a very, very entry-level version of a 2011 Red Bull. You can hear that in the background. It's like the there's the Raiders. Now Master is stopped by a strong tackle, and Kupcharic. She wasn't able to secure the ball for Marconi. Quick throw from SD Raiders, and then, yeah, that's a pretty straightforward decision. Free kick. Daniele has been pinged for the foul there against Phelan. Let's going back to that injury we heard. I mean, as always, if you're not a long-time Formula One fan, some of these references are going to go over my head, but just reminded me of a very, very poor version of the blown diffuser that the Red Bull Formula One team had in the 2011 season. It's like that kind of almost popping sound when you release the throttle, but you know, didn't sound as nice, obviously. As there's a second ball just cleared off the field. So Solacito asks for 2 in the wall, and Bonavas and Herrera. Now, we've seen Lane Knight's long throws, but it's now going to be a set piece with the right boot, and she's got plenty of players in green to aim at. Aim to the edge of the box, off the knee almost, and the initial header there won by Marconi. The Raiders trying to keep it alive, but that is Bonavas who will clear, and at least that allows them to step up. Allows Marconi to step up. Mastoris. And there's the run. I think it was Malone trying to sneak in behind. Marconi were wise to that. Wise to that play. Mastoris. Malone. Now, hey. The 2 former MacArthur Rams can't link up there. Marconi throwing near their own corner flag. Now, Kupchurich couldn't get there first as it was neat play from Knight. He might have switched sides. We'll see how they, for the second half. Now, Radmiller stepping forward once again. But then Sprekic, who's read that incredibly well. Kupchurich, my apologies, couldn't make it stick, but then she's going to harass the players. Got a foot in there up against Bogue. Now, Bogue, I think, looking backwards. Back to Neville, so SD Raiders can start again. 57th minute here at Marconi Stadium, field number 2. Shall we say Palace adjacent this evening. So thankfully there isn't a moat around the Palace. It's 0-0 between Marconi and SD Raiders in the League One Women's Match of the Round for round 10. SD Raiders preparing a double substitution. So Angelina Masteris, number 3, is about to come on, as is number 9. Amelia Savetta, 2 players formerly of Blacktown City last season before making the switch to Ernie Smith. Sarah Mandile, one of the players to be withdrawn, so Savetta will take her place in the SD Raiders attack. And it's Angelina Masteris coming on for Mia Masteris. And by the way, Justin Smith, that double sub happening in the 58th minute. So that for SD Raiders, 3 on for 4 and 9 on for 14. Yes, if you're familiar with the Football New South Wales match reports, you know why I'm being so detailed to the person taking the notes. Throw-in aimed at Hay. And then Bogue decides to go backwards, so the newly introduced player, Angelina Masteris, by the way, I've got a story about her, which I will, oh, not a story, it's not long enough to be a story, it's an anecdote, but anyway, that's for later. There's Harris under pressure, nice turn past Bonavas. Malone. Harris back to Neville, and Neville under pressure immediately. Kupchurich. It's a shame that she missed that one chance right at the end of the first half. She's been excellent leading the press from the front. SD Raiders players haven't had a lot of time on the ball this evening. Bounce back to Radmiller, plays forward to Hay, and Hay, if bounce favors her, has a couple of runners as those in sky blue jerseys track back. Hay still looking for options. There's Malone. Might open up on the left, but she keeps it centrally. Hay shoots from distance, and it's wide. There. There's Hay's good work as kind of the out ball, using her body well. And kept it away from multiple defenders. And good interplay with Maddie Malone there as well. As there's another Western Sydney resident who might need to get their muffler checked. Anyway, good header towards Kupchurich. She might be in behind here. The foot in there. Kupchurich still going. And off the post. So it's Marconi's turn to hit the frame of the goal. Kupchurich, she's shown her speed all game. It got away from the SD Raiders defense. Inches away from opening the scoring. It's Marconi looking to play out from the back. Sorry, SD Raiders are trying to play it from the back. My apologies. It's Marconi who's one out. Now the ball to Neil Hay. Does she stay onside? Well, Lana Zick thinks so. She's kept the flag down. And it's good defending there. See, was that Daniela? Trying to check. No, to Brekic, not my bad. Daniela Brekic. Yeah, apologies everyone. My eyes aren't the best. It's bounced back to Hay, and she delivers a nice ball. And to Run Miller, here's a chance. What a save from Solicitor. It was magnificent. She's kept the scores level at 0-all. They seem destined to be the opener for SD Raiders. It is a point-blank save from Marconi shot stopper, who my sources say is getting rave reviews the last couple of seasons because of the way that she's played. And that's another one for her own personal highlight reel. By the way, I'm informed in NRL Men's Magic Round, the Dragons didn't lose to the Roosters, but in this viewer's words, they lost, which is good enough for me. Some good old-fashioned hating. But I'm loving what I'm seeing in front of me here. And it's two talented and properly committed teams. And the game finally poised as we've just passed the hour mark here at Marconi number 2. 0-all between Marconi and SD Raiders. Hay uses the body well once again. With Milton in close pursuit. Now played out wide. The fake and then the cross. It's Savetta in space. And it was Savetta whose clever touch set up that last chance, which resulted in that wonderful Solicitor save. This time the touch not quite as good. Now Brekic with a thunderous clearance. Quick passing from the Raiders. Phelan, cross is blocked. Now Savetta. Back to Harris. And Harris, well, it's Kuptrich once more pressing from the front. She's been excellent today. As, I think it's Avila, who's won the free kick off Savetta. Marconi, SD Raiders have made 2 subs. Marconi get to make any substitutes, so we could see later on Sarah Urquhart, Kira Cabrera, Ashley Limnios, Chiara Fragomelli, Olivia Cole, or Carissa Herrera. The as yet unused subs for SD Raiders, they are Caitlin Britton. I think she'd be the backup keeper. It's a little bit confusing because I've seen her play as not a keeper in futsal. That's another story. And the other SD Raiders unused subs so far, Abuk Nur, Olga Gastorados, and Luca Davine. Runs through to Hay, and it does actually look like now that after that double sub that SD Raiders made just before the hour mark, it's a bit of a change up front. Now it's Tennille Hay who's moved from right wing to centre forward to kind of be the target player in attack for the visitors. Amelia Savetta is on the right flank. And it's now Hay who's going to commence a battle, individual battle with Daniela Brekic, it seems. Right on cue, Brekic clearing the ball. Header from Angelina Masters. Maria Herrera was initially, and then Tombolich, little scoop pass. Nervous sounds from Marconi fans, but oh well, there was no SD Raiders players in the area. And now it's SD Raiders via Sharina Harris. Phelan. Now the long-range shot. Oh, it's going to dip, and it's off the bar. Tennille Hay is there, and Hay has slotted it home from close range. SD Raiders have a goal. This time Solicitor could do nothing about that. Tennille Hay doing what you're always taught to do, run in when a teammate takes a shot. And she's kept ahead to slot home the bouncing ball. Marconi 0, SD Raiders 1. About 25 minutes of regulation time remaining. A dipping shot, I think, that led to that chance. I think it was from Maddie Malone. He was unlucky not to score SD Raiders, they hit the frame of the goal again, but this time Tennille Hay, who hit both posts with one shot in the first half, she's capitalized, and SD Raiders are in front. Brekic now. Herrera tries to drop it over the top, but on the synthetic surface it runs through, and Pentecost not mucking around with that. By the way, perhaps one for those of you who feel like me, you have a Christian upbringing. It's rather appropriate that we're seeing Natasha Pentecost after Easter, as it's Marconi trying to get back into this one. But Erin Phelan gets away from a couple, and did Hay stay on side? She did not. Flags up. And now Hay will not run through for another chance on goal. Milton, short, they work it to Brekic. Now wide open, that's Avila, or too open, offside, to the consternation of the home fans, shall we say. By the way, got to plug our coverage. Well, I want to plug our coverage at all times, so an early plug for next weekend's League One Women's Match of the Round. We'll be going up to the Central Coast. A really fascinating game. Central Coast Mariners hosting the league leaders Hills United at Plume Park. That is a 5 p.m. kickoff on Sunday the 11th of May. And it's a game at Plume Park. So you know who's calling this. The voice of Central Coast football, Pete Pryor. As that's a sore one. In fact, just Amelia Dimmick blowing the whistle because Erin Phelan is not feeling very happy at the moment. Copter clearance from close range, so the trainer will be on. Of course, a brief summary as we are midway through the second half. And if you've just joined us, of course, the joys of Football New South Wales YouTube streaming. You can just click back on the stream to see what you missed. And really the main action, the biggest chances early in the first half. It was Tennille Hay for SD Raiders hitting both posts with a one shot before Isabella Solitudo and the Marconi defence cleared the ball. And right at the end of the first half, a big chance for Talia Kupcharic of Marconi, which went wide. Kupcharic hit the post in the second half for Marconi, but as we just saw, about the 65th minute, Tennille Hay pouncing on a rebound, and I think Maddie Malone's long-range shot hit the crossbar, putting SD Raiders up by a 1-0 over Marconi. Now, as Erin Phelan continues to receive treatment, obviously you've got to take head injuries with the utmost seriousness. We'll try and sneak a look at some of the other YouTube streams, go around the grounds. So at the Arctic Circle, it is the Ravens leading the University of New South Wales by 2-1. So it looks like the Ravens are teaching NSW a lesson at the moment. Down on the south coast, actually, hang on. Okay, that's it. So Ian McLennan Oval, Illawarra Stingrays leading MacArthur Rams by 1-0. You could call that, what, the Picton Road Plate? Oh, by the way, I assume most of these games well into the second half. And at Camperdown, at the newly relayed hybrid service at Sydney University Football Ground, it's Sydney University teaching the lessons. 1-0 up over Western Sydney Wanderers Academy as Tennille Hay wanted to get back underway. Wasn't happy with the Marconi players being close to her, but Amelia Dimmick was happy to let things go on, so that's a bit of a messy restart. And, well, Pentecost will take over here. Into the gloves it goes at Poppendetta Park. Well, the team promoted from this division last year, Mount Druitt Town Rangers, just keep on getting the job done late in proceedings there at Emerton. They're leading by 2-0. Mount Druitt over Northern Tigers. Oh, what a culture clash that is. Mount Druitt versus Northern Tigers. Anyway, by the way, Northern Tigers having a red card as well. That's late in the second half. And that one, also at Lambert Park, yes. Spirit, courtesy of a double from Sky Halmarik, leading Apia by 2-0 in Leichhardt. There was a washout, I think, as Brekic had to wait for it to drop, tries the run, but SD Raiders doing their best to break it up. Is feeling good to see she's up and running again. Radmilo, and now big shout, but Harris got there first. Tried to dink it over the advancing Solachito, but it goes wide for a goal kick. Don't worry, Megan, I'm getting to the score from the early game. Don't you worry about that. But, yeah, there was a postponement. At Petermore Field, there was a washout there. Who would have thought? But anyway, so unfortunately, Newcastle Jets will have to make another midweek trip to Sydney so they can play their away game against Sydney Olympic. They already had one midweek game. Actually, I was on the mic at the Arctic Circle when the Jets lost 1-0 to Spirit last month. And actually it is in 4 days time. On Thursday, the Jets have to go to Leichhardt to play the final 40 minutes of their game against Apia Leichhardt, which currently stands at 3-3. So they'll play the remainder of the game. It was called off due to lightning in the area at the time, so they were playing the remainder of that game as per the competition regs. Anyway, Kupchurich has done well to win a free kick, continuing to be a nuisance for those in green. Big chance for Marconi coming up. So now in the 73rd minute. By the way, in the early kickoff at Northbridge Oval, they're not called Northbridge anymore. Bulls FC Academy beat Manly United by 1-0. It was an early goal, I believe, from Patria Phillips. And it was my second favourite teacher of all time, Mel Muscat, on the mic there from Northbridge. Here's the set piece. Bonavas drills it into the wall. SD Raiders in the way again. Now the ball. Savetta's going to chase this one. So Avila has to go back to the keeper so they can start again. Now the ball, which is Angelina Masters. And then, well, if you're an SD Raiders fan of a nervous disposition, you did not want to see your keeper trap the ball and watch it go backwards, but it's all good. Hey, the target once more. Milton appears to have the jump. So it's Milton will turn and go forward. Touch, I think it was Martinez, not able to reel it in. So it'll be Knight retrieving it from underneath that scoreboard. That's a very nice scoreboard, by the way, I must say. And clear. It's not like, it's not too bright like the one at the home grounds. The one in Macquarie Park that both Spirit and Ravens use. Bikes up from Milanazic. Avila has won the free kick. Yeah, just the right amount of light in that scoreboard so it doesn't blind us. Now, Marconi are going to make a substitution. And it's going to be Charmaine Martinez who makes way so Sarah Urquhart can come on. Very industrious shift from Martinez. And as she gets some congratulations from the coaches, Sarah Urquhart is the player entrusted with help trying to find a way for Marconi back into this one, where they've been good value, but SD Raiders leading by 1-0, courtesy of the second half strike from Timiel Hay. Avila. And the defending there from Harris. now Urquhart straight into the action before a bump from her fellow number 6 Neville. And now Bogue is going to hold down R2. And what are her options? Bogue, plenty of running still left in the legs, slightly overrun it, and Shelby Milton had to be spot on. She was inside her own box. And that is a textbook sliding tackle. Hey, now, SD Raiders going again. They're not happy to sit on a 1-goal lead. No, you never know. Goal difference could matter at the end of the season, so SD Raiders will probably not go gung-ho, but there's definitely enough incentive for them to go for a second goal and make this result a bit safer. But there's plenty of football still to be played here. Neville, way overhit. Goal kick for Marconi. Herrera, Kupcharic, yet another run as it's back to the keeper. And then Malone can't make it stick, so Kupcharic once more. With the defense trying to get back goal side, it's Malone preventing the cross. And another SD Raiders player. That's team defending there from the Raiders. Avila finding Tomalic, and Tomalic, that's a nice ball. Radmilla's got to hurry. Radmilla gets there ahead of Avila. Brilliant finesse ball from Hannah Tomalic. Marconi know they've got to raise the tempo. And Brekic, oh, she's judged that well. It's always awkward when it bounces just in front of you. Daniela wins the throw. Neville getting her body in the way there. Now, good touch from Bonavas into the box. Before the covering defender comes across, I think that was Angelina Masteris. It was. That's a corner. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Throw in. So I think someone's going to warm up the shoulders, go for distance. Almost up for grabs there for a moment in the box. Amelia Dimmick scrambles out of the way, and the shot, is that going to dip? No, it is not. Pentecost looked to have it covered. Goal kick. Of course. Wait, I don't know if you can hear that up. It sounds like there's kids playing underneath the seats. Good, they've stopped. Mostly. As Milton takes over. Milton, well, Raiders have stepped up. Milton wanted to drop it in behind them. Radmilla covering once again, this time against Tomalic. That Tomalic pressure forces a throw-in. Now Savetta, it's a bit of a lucky deflection. And then it's Herrera across to stop the run. Into the 80th minute. SD Raiders, well, now I wonder how much, shall we say, how much game management are they going to employ in the closing stages? Phelan gives it up. And handball. Radmillo is not best pleased. That's going to be a decision against SD Raiders. Marconi set piece coming up. Who's the designated dead ball expert? Bonavas, it looks to be. The delivery from Bonavas to the far post. He's cleared initially as Marconi looked to keep it alive. Now The chance for a counter attack, and Hay trying to get that, make that deflection off her back work for her. Hay, she's done brilliantly, and Hay's still going. She will end up with possession. What kind of options does he have? Cross slammed off Milton. That was wonderful from Tennille Hay. 1 on 3 at times. She somehow won a corner. And now, Hay, let's see. I wonder if she's okay. Although, remember what I just speculated about game management. Anyway, Hay looks to be sore, so we'll have a break for a moment. And of course, is New South Wales women's teams not just involved in league action, of course. It's great that we also do have the 3rd edition of the greatest cup competition in the world, the Sapphire Cup. Unfortunately for both Marconi and SD Raiders, they lost their first game. Marconi losing on penalties to the Spartans, and SD Raiders losing at home to South Coast Flame. Actually, there's another SD Raiders player who's needing some attention. So, looks like this might be a bit of an extended stoppage. But there are Sapphire Cup games coming up in midweek, Wednesday, 7th of May. It's a local derby at Spartan Park. Spartans hosting Nepean. That's an all League One women's clash. There's also another all League One women's clash up on the Central Coast, because yes, 4 days before Mariners meet Hills in the league and in front of our cameras, and also play a cup game at Plume Park. 8 p.m. kickoff at Plume Park between the Mariners and the Hills. And honestly, I'm just cold. I feel cold just thinking about that. That will be that feels like it'll be a foggy fixture. Also Thursday, 8th of May. Coogee United, the 2024 Football New South Wales champions winners from Eastern Suburbs Association. Also quarter-finalists in last year's Sapphire Cup. They host South Coast Flame at Heffron Park, Field 5. One of the many, many fields at Heffron Park. And actually another all League One women's clash on Thursday, 8th of May. What am I doing? I've got stuck in a little bit of time. Well, University of New South Wales aren't in League One women's anymore. But anyway, the former League One women's team are hosting St George FC at their home ground, the Village Green. So, yes, and that's all of those. At stake in all of those games, a place in the round of 16 for the Sapphire Cup. Yes. Other noteworthy results were well done to Quakers Hill Junior Soccer Club of the Blacktown Association, who knocked off Bankstown City from League One Women's, and then backed that up with a victory last week a few days ago over a very good UTS team, UTS from the Northern Suburbs Association. So they're one of the fairy tale stories of the Sapphire Cup. Now, keep an eye on Tennille Hay. Of course, the players would need to leave the field because the physio came on, although Abuk Noor is also being readied to make her entrance and provide some fresh legs in the closing stages for SD Raiders. I do wonder. She comes on. I do wonder. Apologies, can't quite see the shirt number of the player's been withdrawn. Noor's on for one. Noor's on, but Tennille Hay has to wait. SD Raiders a player light for the time being while they think about this set piece. There's still players forward. So Marconi have something to defend here, but anyway, after that break, away we go with Harris defending, and the header from Brekic goes back. Now, Signal and Millie Dimmick has allowed Tennille Hay, who is not exactly moving freely, back onto the field. So Harris with the delivery from the flag. Another Marconi header. Ragmillo looking to recycle. Here's Harris. And Harris up against Tomalic. Does deliver. Brekic is in the way. Well positioned, as she has been for most of this game. Just looking through the dribble up. Other Sapphire Cup results. Inter Lions of this division lost to Linfield from the Northern Suburbs Association, although that's like losing to the 2018 Northern Tigers team, so no shame there. But also, as that's booted into the spectate area. It was 3 days ago at Valentine Sports Park, where former Marconi player and former SD Raiders futsal player Ashley Crofts scored a perfect hat-trick for RPL Leichhardt in their 4-1 cup win over Sydney Olympic. As Muir with a great run, and the angle's a bit tight, but she doesn't get the shot away because of sharp work from Shelby Milton. But SD Raiders are still willing to press high. They want the ball as far away from their goal as possible. And this is brilliant. Natasha Pentecost has really been bothered for like the last 5 minutes at least. Muir keeping it near the corner flag. Possibly a little bit early for that, although we are in the 86th minute. Marconi continue to work hard to get the ball back and get it up the other end of the field, which is what they need. Radmillo, slightly mishit cross. There's a little high pressing from Bogue. And Bogue really harassing these Marconi players. Daniela wins a throw, but Bogue has stopped any kind of quick ball out from the back. SD Raiders drop into their shape. Now Neville has stepped up from the back, so there might be a gap, but on the other hand, it's Savetta for SD Raiders, and now Hay goes across. This could be a shot coming up. It is, and it's the fence. I was wondering because Jessica Neville stepped way out of the back line to win the ball, to try and win the ball, but then Marconi weren't able to capitalize with her out of position. Here's Milton. Curling ball. Raiders got a scramble. Kupcharic will get there first. Another flashy run down the flank. And honestly, Kupcharic, did she win the corner? Yes, he did. And I haven't seen a winger in sky blue do that good a job since Thursday's Women's State of Origin match. Well done to Jamie Fassad for scoring 2 tries on a New South Wales debut, by the way. And Marconi corner. Now, second effort back into the middle, and that's not going to threaten Natasha Pentecost. And now the SD Raiders shot stopper, not exactly in a hurry. Solicido, and Avila wasn't quite where she wanted it. She does well in the end, and then that's an overhit ball. So Pentecost now going to run down every second, and she waits for the pressure from Tomolich before she gathers. By the way, a really obscure point. If I'll be pleased if even one person gets this reference I'm about to make, but I've noticed that from a distance, Hannah Tomolich looks like former Marconi player Jada Kumbas from a distance. As I said, if even one of you know who Jada is, I'll be pleased. I was actually watching a trial game, pre-season game, which up on the main grass field at the Palace here between Marconi and Maitland for a moment. I did wonder if Jada had made a return to Marconi, but no. Muir might be a little bit of trouble talking to from the referee, and she's kind of prevent that quick throw, or Marconi quick throw. That's not too much pace on that one. And yeah, 90th minute now. Ooh, Muir. It's fortunate just letting it run over a foot, or under a foot, but she's back in position. forward for Hay. Does she get the touch? Milton, another good lunge. And Milton up against two. Marconi went out now. They're not in position, and they're going to be away here. Kupterich didn't get to it because of the clearance from Knight. And yep, we are into stoppage time now. As yet, there's two of you that have noted that it does sound like I'm calling from a bowling alley as the cross comes in to Tomalic, and it takes a bounce and favours Pentecost. Ref not interested in any penalty calls. By the way, a little bit of self-promotion. I said I was going to keep this a secret, but I decided not to. As the ball forwards, and Hay bumps Milton. Again, yeah, that's going to be a free kick. That's straightforward call. Hay's got to be careful. She is on a yellow card, but a little bit of self-promotion. I won't keep this a secret because my next time on the mic for League One Women's, it'll be, I think it's Sunday the 25th of May, round 13. I'll be at Football New South Wales headquarters to call Hills United versus St George FC, which should interest at least one of the viewers tonight. Good, I've never called a women's game between Hills United and St George FC before, so yeah, that should be a fascinating game. Now going long and hop off the turf and into Pentecost gloves. She's nearly kept a clean sheet. Natasha Pentecost, a long-time keeper in this competition with a great reputation. She's done what she's needed to, but SD Raiders, chance maybe for a second. Muir, did she stay on side? Yes, she did. Gets to it first. Great save from Solachito. Positioning spot on. Tay, Hay, can't make it stick. And whatever Marconi do, needs to be quick. We've had more than 2 minutes of time added on already. Now Brekic in a physical battle. More players tumble. Abigail Berg decides to get on with it. Finds Muir. Muir keeps it away from two. Harris with the shot. Doesn't get anywhere near the curl she wanted. And booking, I think that's Brekic. Daniela Brekic into the referee's notebook. Justin Smith, that'd be 93rd minute. In fact, the ref has got to complete the yellow card admin, so Marconi will have to wait. Anyway, the whole time I've been calling this game, whenever I see Daniela Brekic, I think of the term Brexit tackle, because her surname. Luckily, Daniela hasn't given us any Brexit tackles tonight. She's been very clean and good as in Marconi's central defence. But it looks like it might not be enough. And there's the full-time whistle. A big win for SD Raiders. They defeat a local rival. 1-0 win over Marconi Stallions, and the goal came at about the 65th minute from Tennille Hay, who was excellent all game in the SD Raiders attack. Tennille Hay also both posted one shot in the first half, while Talia Kupterich hit the post in the second half, and that was as close as Marconi came to a goal this evening. Please stick around. Please keep an eye on the Football New South Wales League socials for the match report, which Justin Davies will be compiling from somewhere in Queensland. But anyway, this is on behalf of Football New South Wales, our camera operator tonight, Nelson, and our broadcast partner, Sportscast, Eric Sabihano, signing off from Marconi Stadium Field 2. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We hope to see you soon. The final score in Bosley Park, Marconi 0, SD Raiders 1.